Hello everyone, welcome to the Win at Work podcast. You're with your host Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Kat Valverde and Daniel Paul Lucas. How did I go?
You got it. Yeah, you got it.
Kat, did I butcher your surname?
Nope, it's perfect.
Oh, what a relief. Fantastic. All right, so let's get the music on. We're going to play Jeopardy and then we're going to have a chat to our wonderful guests. Oh, the music, it's not working. There it is, it's working. Okay, your beauty. Let's load up the board. The categories today are how do you, which is how do you sort of do certain things, highly edible, Emmy-winning TV. Does anyone know what an Emmy is these days?
It's like the TV version of an Oscar, right?
Yeah, TV. Before we had Netflix, we used to watch TV shows. And they'd get awards.
Can Netflix?
Netflix can do Emmys.
Netflix can win Emmys. Yeah.
Still going. All right. Next category is Army Strong. Army questions, which I won't know the answer to. 4-letter words. These are all F words. Keep your mind out of the gutter. They just start with F. And the final category, the main alcoholic ingredient. So there's a bunch of drinks and cocktails, and if you've had a few days, I won't say that. All right, let's get into it before I go off course. Daniel, what category would you like?
Let's do highly edible for 100.
Highly edible for 100. Bleu de Corses is a cave-matured type of this.
What is cheese?
What is cheese? Is correct. Well done, Daniel. What would you like? Jump
Let's
in
do
if
highly
you
edible.
know the answer. That's how it works. There's no buzzers.
Okay.
Yeah.
No buzzer. Highly edible for 200.
Highly edible for 200. At Hardee's, these sides
Onion
are
rings.
beer battered. Whoa. Daniel's had a few.
Yeah. I'm from the South. We know
Ah.
what Hardee's are. Yeah.
Everything's beer battered down there, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty much deep fried. Yeah.
What would you like next? Daniel?
Let's keep it going. Highly edible for 300.
Highly edible. This Hawaiian word can refer to the big eye or the yellowfin tuna on menus. It often follows seared. It's a type
Hawaiian
of
word.
Hawaiian tuna. You can get it at,
Ahi tuna. It's ahi tuna.
that's the one. You get it at tiki
Yeah.
bars as well.
yeah.
Well done. Daniel, very good.
Dang.
Bit scary.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Let's keep the category going at 400.
Nice straight lines. Eggs a la Jockey Club are served with kidneys and garnished with mushrooms. And these fungi, jockeys eat well. Eggs a la Jockey Club are served with kidneys and garnished with mushrooms and these fungi. So, another type of fungi? Is that what they want to know? This is a real Jeopardy question. This is a real hard one.
What are truffles?
Not hard at all. Well done.
Yeah, nice.
I was thinking there is no other fungus that we eat, but of course there is. Kat knew all
Right.
about it. Well done, Kat. You're in control.
Hey, all right. I'll take the main alcoholic ingredient for a 100.
The main alcoholic ingredient. Is this an area of specialty, Kat?
It is. I was a bartender for many years.
I was gonna say,
Oh boy.
that could have backfired on me. Yes,
Or an
I'm a
alcoholic.
recovering
Right.
alcoholic. In a screwdriver.
Vodka.
What is vodka?
Vodka.
And OJ.
Daniel was quick off the mark there. You've got it.
Dang.
No, she can keep going. That's fine.
Daniel, if we don't have rules, we have chaos.
Exactly. Take
Yeah.
it.
Okay, sure. We'll go with the same category. I think she'll steal it.
Very nice of you, though, Daniel.
Mm.
200 in a Boilermaker, along with beer.
What is
Co-
Kahlua? No. Bailey's.
No. I think it's coffee. Espresso.
But we want to know the main alcoholic ingredient.
Yeah.
Guinness.
You're
Let's
right.
take a look. It is whiskey. So whiskey
Oh,
with
okay.
beer. That sounds
Oh.
absolutely disgusting.
Huh.
Daniel,
Think we'll
you're
make-
still in control.
Let's do highly edible for 500.
Highly edible for 500. Kasha is often made from the edible kernels of these. Kasha is often made from the edible kernels of buckwheat, which are also called not oats, but these. It's one of those food trends, and
I want to say grains, but
well,
it's not.
the answer,
not.
according to Alex Trebek, is groats. Has anybody heard of groats?
Never.
That's what I say. It's probably one of these trends that just comes in like LA, and then nobody talks about it ever again.
Yeah.
Continuing on,
Let's do METV.
Emmy TV. I'm assuming
Or-
100. Hill Street Station.
Wow.
What was the TV
is it-
show where that took place?
It was called Hill Street Blues.
Hill Street
Yeah.
Blues. What a great show. That was before
Yeah.
NYPD Blue, and it had
Yeah.
Dennis Franz,
Oh.
I think.
And the theme went dun 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 dun. Very similar to Jeopardy, actually. Yeah.
Yes. You're going to be
Dang,
singing.
that was the 100 question. That was
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. You're in control. Should we do 200?
Let's do 200. Yeah.
200. Sitcom that launched Michael J. Fox.
Family Ties, man.
Family Ties.
Yeah.
Is correct. Well done. What would you like? Straight
Do
lines?
you? Yeah, that's fine. Let's do straight line. I feel like I'm hoarding.
Hey, you gotta take the win.
That's
yeah,
good.
own that.
That's because you're a nice person. You don't want to just dominate your opponent with no mercy. Slay everyone, trust no one was the catchphrase of this television program. It was one of the first reality TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
What is Real World?
Oh, well, maybe one of the second ones.
Maybe Survivor.
Ding, ding, ding is correct. Well done.
Good one.
Daniel.
Let's keep the straight lines, man. Straight lines.
lines. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes was the original name or the pilot episode of this drama series. And it was, I'll give you a clue, it was kind of set in the early 60s, and it was kind of executives in this top.
Oh, Mad Men.
Mad Men is correct.
Yeah.
Oh.
I could have said it was that, who was that handsome devil, John, or whatever, that was the lead guy, but then everyone,
It's John Hamm.
John Hamm.
everyone
Mhm.
would have got it. Or Christina Hendricks. Anyway, let's go 500. Emmy award-winning TV. Routine, Hummingbird and Flower, The Chairman's Waltz. Choreography 2008. Very obscure. TV. Hummingbird and Flower. This is the, I guess, the song that was used on this TV show. Let's take a look at the answer because of coming up with crickets. So you think you can dance? Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
What would you like to do now, Daniel?
Let's do 4-letter words.
4-letter words. These are all F words. 100. On a tent, it's the equivalent of a door. Starts with F. You want to make sure you've got this one closed if you're in bear country.
The fold.
If you don't tie it down, it will something in the breeze.
Fly.
Close. It's flap.
Oh, dang.
Tent
Yeah.
flap.
There you go.
Would you like to do 200, Daniel?
I don't know. It's pretty lame. I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah, that was a weird one.
He didn't like that one. Okay.
No.
A tire that has lost its air.
Flat. Yeah.
Flat
Oh,
is
dang, you're
correct.
fast.
Well done. Use quick. 4-letter words for 300.
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
assuming it can be a custody tart or creme caramel.
Flan.
Flan.
Daniel
Oh.
got in there. Cat got it. Just
Yeah. That's all right.
You should beat me on this one. Go ahead.
400. Fatty flesh around Julian's tummy.
Flab.
Flab is correct.
Yeah. Hans and
Well,
Franz. Yeah.
last one, 4-letter 500. The unfortunate quality that brings ruin to the hero of a tragedy is called the tragic this. F word.
Fault.
4 letters.
Oh, that's 5. Come on.
Fall.
Flaw is what we're looking for.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Law. Oh my gosh. Duh.
Now I'm insisting. You pick one. Go for it.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
I mean, you clearing the board. You go for it. No, it's okay.
Let's
I
do
love
the
rules.
alcohol ingredient. That's her favorite category. So.
Oh, there you go. In a Tom Collins.
Gin.
Oh,
The dry type of gin. Well done. Daniel.
Yeah, 400.
400. In a Gorgon.
Oh,
I've never heard of that in my life.
never heard of it.
Gorgon. Okay. I think these would be drunk in Jamaica and maybe South America.
Rum. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to give it to Kat.
Yeah. Let's
Good
do
on you.
500. Yeah, let's kill that
500.
row.
In a Rob Roy, vermouth's along for the ride too. So vermouth is one of the ingredients. What else is in a Rob Roy?
Oh, rum.
I think it might be something that
It's
Conor
Scotch.
McGregor would drink, and maybe Billy
Scotch.
Connolly. Oh, did you? Daniel just got it.
It's Scotch?
Yep.
Oh,
Well done,
Man.
Daniel.
my fun facts are not very good today.
Let's do how do you for 100.
How do you for 100? Drop to one knee, hold on, check for puddles, drop to one knee, take out the ring, ask.
Propose.
Propose is correct. Daniel,
200.
200.
Yeah.
Get out of the cold, put waxy white fingers in 104 to 107 degree water. What? Get out of the
Don't.
cold, put waxy white fingers in 104 to 107 degree water. Is it defrost your frostbitten hands? I don't know. Let's take a look. Wow, I can't even read that. It is treat frostbite. Wow, incredible. Well done,
I guess
Jill.
it was. You had,
Yeah.
yeah, you got that right.
See, I uploaded it, but I don't actually look at the answers most of the time. All right, let's do 300. Use the buttons and the strum bar. Access star power by tilting head. Forget about how foolish you look.
Guitar Hero. No, I didn't.
Play Guitar Hero is
Oh,
correct.
okay.
Well done,
That
Kat.
was awesome.
Right on. Okay, let's do 400.
400. How do you fill glass with ice? Pour in Pinot Grigio. Add club soda. Garnish. Sounds like another cocktail.
Make a spritz.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Spritz is correct. Well done, Kat.
All right.
The
Let's do
bartender.
500.
500. Pick a lead underwriter. Give the SEC a prospectus. Give possible investors a red herring. Run tombstone ads. Get arrested.
Oh.
Sounds like.
Commit fraud.
Yeah. Pick a lead underwriter. Give the SEC a prospectus. Give possible investors a red herring. Run tombstone ads. Launch an
I think it's an IPO.
IPO is correct. Well done, Daniel.
Army Strong.
Army Strong, of course.
Yes, it
Its
is.
army has about 30,000 permanent troops with about 11,000 stationed in Queensland.
Is that UK?
UK.
Australia, people. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You Canadians are useless at trivia. See what I did there? Got your back. All right, let's do 200. Its PLA has an active strength of about 1.25 million personnel. Probably more now. PLA is a clue. It's the name of their army. It is China.
Mm.
Probably got a few more than that. Army Strong 300 in 2009, its armed forces had a reported strength of 134,886 Beware their multi-purpose knives.
Africa?
Multi-purpose knife that your uncle...
Swiss. The Swiss. Yeah.
Oh.
That's the one, the Swiss
Oh
Army
my
knife.
gosh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It has an active duty military force of about 1.2 million. Its neighbour to the south, about 680,000.
America?
Good answer. Pretty logical. But a little more tense. And I'm not talking about the ones with flaps.
This is not our category.
It is North Korea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Last question.
I was not even close. Yeah.
Oh, this one's tough. In August 2010, General Zahir Azimi announced that its army had reached target strength of 134,000 2 months ahead of schedule before it all collapsed into chaos. General Zahir was kind of like put there by the US, and they thought,
Iran.
job done.
Iraq.
Close. It's
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. I'll give it to you, Kat.
Okay.
Well done.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
I need
Let's
it.
have a round
Yeah.
of applause. Some pretty tough questions there.
Woohoo.
Daniel on 4,300. Kat on 2,000. All right. Sorry, I keep calling you. It's Daniel. Sorry, Daniel. You're very patient, not correcting me. Tell us a bit about what you're up to, Daniel. You're a physical trainer or a nutritionist. How would you categorize yourself?
I'm a health enthusiast. We can go with that. I used to be an ultra runner. That's probably on my profile.
And now an ultra runner is somebody who, that's the big one. Is that the one? What's the one in Hawaii where they do? It's way more than. Is it more than 40 kilometers?
Yeah. So ultra running is defined as anyone who runs distances greater than the marathon. So I've run like 100 milers, 50 milers, things like that. Yeah.
How long does that take to do?
Depends on the terrain. There's most of the ones I do are out in the mountains, so it's a lot of climbing and a lot of gnarly environments. Colorado is one where we used to perform. Altitude, yeah. So that's probably the personal trainer aspect, and then I have a health product called the Sprout Spout that I invented to get people sprouts at home very conveniently.
I love sprouts. Why should we be eating more of them?
You're like one of the first people I've ever talked to that even said I like. Most people are like, "What is a sprout exactly?"
Well, I'll tell you what. I get alfalfa sprouts and I put them in sandwiches, and then a week later nobody's touched them, and they're still there in the fridge. So I'm the only one in the house.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because alfalfa is one of the main ones that the Sprout Spout grows very, very fast. Like you can fill a huge container in 4 days with alfalfa sprouts.
Is that
It's
right?
great. Yeah,
Whoa.
it's this thing behind me here that's hanging right here. Yeah.
So this is amazing. So what did you do? You've got these. They've got seeds in them. And
it has seeds. You put in the seeds, and because it's an airflow design, you don't have to deal with mold and mildew like you do in mason jars. And instead of using 2 tablespoons of seeds, it does a half a cup. So it makes a ton of sprouts in 4 days.
That's very interesting. And
Thanks.
Are you a vegan? A vegan? Would you say?
I am
or
neither
just
of
a
those
healthy
things.
person.
I'm just a healthy person. I'm an omnivore, as Michael Pollan likes to say, the food writer. I'll eat anything, but I happen to believe that one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can possibly eat is broccoli sprouts, and they're very hard to grow, and they're very expensive to buy at the farmer's market. So that's why I invented this device during COVID, was so that people who didn't have access to farmers market or have very limited counter space could grow all the nutrition they need within 4 days. And it makes so much that you can literally eat a huge handful every day and never run out because it'll refill the entire jar every 4 days.
How do you eat them? I usually, if I have bean sprouts, I'm throwing them on a sandwich. Is that how you do it?
Generally, the number one way my favorite breakfast is I throw in 2 big handfuls of sprouts and then throw all my scrambled eggs and all that on top of it. And then for lunch, I usually have a salad and I'll throw a handful of big sprouts in there too. If most people like them in wraps. So like mung beans and broccoli sprouts, generally very easy. Just throw a handful of those in a wrap and you get all your antioxidant. Broccoli sprouts have 10 to 100 times more antioxidants than a broccoli stalk. So you'll get all your antioxidants for the week in one big handful of broccoli sprouts.
Oh,
Do
wow.
they taste like broccoli though? That's important.
They're a little bit more mild than broccoli. They're not quite as potent. If you get, we have a 5-seed mix that we sell and it has a little bit of radish in there. And man, that radish has a bite. If you're not okay with a bite, stay away from radish sprouts.
No, I would have the ones with the radish definitely.
People love them. People love them. I actually have learned to love them. I did not like them initially.
Very interesting, Daniel. And
Thank you.
and this is something that sort of happened in COVID, where everything was weird and all sorts of unusual ideas people were creating. It's very interesting to me. And how has it gone now post COVID?
Well, I only launched I started the design phase during COVID.
Gotcha.
It took a whole lot more money, time, and prototypes than I ever imagined. I probably would have never started it. I had a very comfy corporate job. And so this was a passion project. And only 4 months ago did I make this my full-time job. So I only launched the company 4 months ago. It's been going good. We've been getting a lot of feedback from influencers who I've been sending it to on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, and saying, "Hey, tell me what you think." Sales are moving along. I tell you, one of the biggest positive feedback loops I ever get is when someone has been sprouting with mason jars for years, and then they try the sprout spout, and they're like, "I cannot believe how much more sprouts this makes." So I take that as a big compliment because it all started with a napkin during COVID, and I'm really proud of that.
Interesting. And so just to clear it up a little bit, I've got a few questions. So the sprout spout, is that glass container I can see on the website? Is that what it looks like? Do you get that?
It's not glass. No, it's a BPA free plastic. Yeah.
Gotcha. Right. So it grows in there, and in 4 days you've got all your sprouts growing, and then does it reseed itself?
You just pour in soaked seeds right back into the container, and the bottom just pops off. You can throw it in your dishwasher. You don't have to do the whole vinegar, bleach, and all that like you do with the mason jar.
I got you. But can you like regenerate once you've harvested?
No, you basically you buy the seeds, and every time you soak the seeds, you pour them in there, because when you eat the sprouts, you're actually eating the seeds that you soaked.
Yeah, of course. Yes, I got you. Awesome. And what types of people are finding this to be right up their alley? You said some of the influencers and etc.
Anyone who's big into the health community automatically knows what it is. They're usually a little skeptical because they go, "I've been using a mason jar for years. Why hasn't someone else invented this?" And so that's usually the people who are drawn to it and want to try it, is people who know the benefits of sprouts, but they're like, "I've tried the jar. I quit it after the mold and mildew and stuff like that."
Right. So it's quicker and easier and has a lot more output.
Yeah. Probably the biggest benefit is, in terms of it outside of its size, is that it's got an airflow design, so you don't have funk getting in the bottom of your jar.
Awesome. And what else are you involved in? Is this your first entrepreneurial?
This is my first entrepreneurial venture. I host a podcast called Chasing Energy for like 2.5 years now, where we talk about fitness, mindset, and nutrition. Those are the 3 topics that I'm pretty well versed in, and I generally have guests on the show, and we cover one of those 3 topics.
And being super fit, does it allow you to live longer, or does it stress your body out and make you die younger?
Well, I will tell you, I think it was Napoleon that said any virtue can be taken to the extreme, can become a vice. So it's like anything, if you take it to the very extreme, it can make you wear out your body, but well balanced, it's just like food. If you eat the right amount of food and the right type of food, it will serve you well for longevity. And my goal is to add, not necessarily to add years to your life, but to add life to your years, so that even in your elderly years, you're still
Yeah.
mobile, you're still agile, you're not sitting around watching reruns in being sort of prolonged.
Yeah, definitely. And that's I mean, my parents are very active, and the reason was that their parents were not active, and they really start the last 20 years virtually immovable. It's very difficult. I find I was somebody who was super fit, well, not by your standards, but fit, very fit and active for up until 30.
Mhm.
And then I sort of focused on being fat rather than fit. And because I need to have a sport to play to get fit, I
Yeah.
can't do running. How do you do that and not just go, oh, this sucks?
Yeah. So the number one advice that I give people to stay fit for the long term is find the thing that brings you joy. And
Mm.
that could be hiking in the mountains. That could be biking with your friend. That could be running with a partner. That could be meeting your friend at the gym. Build an accountability where you have friends that are counting on you to show up. That's one thing. But more importantly, find the thing that you enjoy. So in America, some people love CrossFit, some people love hiking, some people love biking. It's just a question of what is the activity that you look forward to, and you're not going, oh my gosh, I've got to put in
Mm.
an hour of this today.
I'll tell you what, I'll give a tip to people. If you're one of these people that needs to have fun while exercising, I would say cycling or getting a bike, but not being like one of these super hardcore people in Lycra, but just like I bought a mountain bike. And, I used to ride everywhere, and I've started riding again, and just like
Hmm.
riding down to the town and back. It's just like wee down there, like that feeling you have when you're 10 years old on your bike. You still get it.
Hmm.
It's
Oh,
awesome.
absolutely, man. I one of the tips that I do for when I do my bike route is I tell myself, when it's not fun anymore, I have to turn around. And what
Mm.
ends up happening is you remove the pressure from, oh, I've got to bike, 18 miles to the end of this loop. It turns into something where I go, I almost don't want it to end because I I shift my mindset to where I'm enjoying the ride more than just saying I have to get this ride in, then I've got to get into a meeting, and then I've got to get this done. So instead of going from a have to, it's wow, I get to enjoy this entire ride. I know that sounds silly, but it's little things like that that
No, that does not sound
integrate
silly.
Mhm.
integrate gratitude into the training is what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely, and just not turning it into a chore, focusing on the fun. If it's not fun, don't do it, and then the benefits come anyway because you're out and about exercising.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Well, if you want to have a chat to Daniel, check out Daniel's podcast, and it was called the Chasing Energy podcast. Is that right?
Yeah, it's chasing energy. That's correct. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, the fit and fabulous Daniel Lucas.
Yeah.
All right, let's pop over to Kat. Now, Kat, you're an org psych, is that correct?
Yeah, currently studying org psych. But my business profesh is a digital marketing and content creation agency.
Got you. And when did you
Mhm.
start that?
I started in 2022, so also a COVID baby. Just started to get super burnt out and putzing around the house trying to figure out uh, what I really want after about 10 years in corporate. So congrats to you, Daniel, on 4 months in the full-time world. It's scary and amazing.
It's scary and amazing. Thank you, Kat. That's exactly how
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah. I'm a couple years in and it's not any less scary, but it gets more amazing.
Hmm.
Yep. So I started that a couple years ago.
And I've got a couple of questions for you. One of them that's on my mind is, you started this in 2022, did you say?
Yep.
So 2 years later, and then you're also studying org psych at Harvard. Is
Yes.
one of them sort of winning the race in terms of I'm going to go in this direction or that direction?
Yeah, what I didn't expect was that they are aligned quite a lot. What's so interesting about organizing it. Oh my gosh, I can't say it.
Org bev.
Organizational.
Org bev.
I can't believe that it's you,
Organizational. I just kind of,
you're the
I'm
one
a robot.
butchering it,
I
not me.
know. It's so funny. What's crazy is it's actually the full term is industrial and organizational psychology, and we just call it IO Psych. Man, that's crazy. It just glitched out. Um, so I started that thinking that'd be the end goal, and then I would just move into consulting for that. Businesses don't actually have many in this field, any consultants or full-time people. And the way I really explain it is you're kind of like a therapist for the business. You're translating employees' needs and wants to leadership, but it's actually getting a lot bigger than that. We're seeing cities utilize org psychology in how they want to plan their cities, how they want to build tax plans. What is going to really resonate with people to come and invest. There's a bunch of smaller cities in Finland, for example, Denmark, which is not surprising, but looking to build small little pockets in their city that have totally different tax structures and business structures for people that want to come and basically build like a citywide compound, essentially from government all the way down to where people are living and how they're living. So it's a lot bigger. It's getting a lot bigger. The demand for it's getting a lot bigger. And what I'm finding is I'm just building it into my business, like what my values are, how I'm building it out, who I'm hiring, how I'm structuring it.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a little of both forever.
Well, I think. Sorry, go on, Daniel.
Kat, what it sounds like, and I'm just sort of creating a meta description here, but it sounds like what you do is you define and capture what the culture is, and then you create a strategy that is basically conducive to that particular culture, whether it's a city, whether it's an organization, whether it's a consulting client.
Yes, or how I'm building my business, right? It really is. That's a perfect meta description. And what I really like about this is instead of this being kind of a top down, this is the way that our organization works, or this is the way that our community works. That's a very top down traditional way that we look at the world. It's really more reframing, like this is a bottom up way to operate. What are the people demanding? Like, what is it that's going to keep people working for us forever, living in our city forever? What's going to attract businesses to us? It is a very different way to kind of flip the script. And, my whole job is to gather that data, put it together so I get to talk to a lot of people, and then, push leadership to make the decisions that they should be making, based on what their people are telling them.
Kat, speaking of data, do you use a program called SPSS? I know a lot of org psychs use SPSS. Statistics.
I mean, you can. Yeah, I actually use R, which is pretty basic, but I really like it because I'm at heart, I'm an Excel girl, but statistics is so much bigger than Excel can handle. So that's what I use is R and RStudio.
Well, the reason I brought that up is that it's one of the big strengths I feel of organizational psychology is the ability to demonstrate benefits through data and statistics. Do you do a lot of statistics in your course that you're doing?
Oh, yes. I mean, I think that's how they're weeding out a lot of people is that's what you have to take first. Like the basics are just back to back to back courses on statistics. It is actually really interesting. I have my MBA, so I went into this a little bit afraid because that was my least favorite course in grad school. But this is really based on humanities. So, it's still statistics, but you're applying it to people and you're applying it to beliefs. And it's fascinating the things that you can pull from huge data sets.
Super impressive, Kat.
Oh, thank you.
my background was Six Sigma and Lean and stuff like that. And one of the benefits of what you're doing is when you leverage those statistics and you're trying to get buy-in, it removes the emotions from a
Yes.
decision. You say, hey, look, this is what the data says. You can argue with the data, but there's no need to argue with me.
Exactly. It's so true. And it's so true for marketing anyway, that it has really just it sharpens both knives. Like it's great for me and for my learning, and then it's just great for me as a business owner to be able to keep honing those skills, but also to like the main skill is taking that data and then, telling the story. And that's I think what we miss a lot when we get, our eyes glaze over when we talk about statistics and modeling and all of this. So
It's also very interesting, Kat, that you have a business at the same time. So while you're learning about building, organizational cultures the right way, you get to sort of, as you said, do it, apply it to your own business. I don't think
yeah.
there'd be many people studying the course that would also own a business.
Yeah, it's a funny journey to get here. I worked for about 10 years in corporate and I was in fintech, made my way up into a director role over that time, leading large teams. And so I already knew the value of culture, and in fact, that was a lot of the reasons that I left and a lot of the reasons that caused my burnout was just pushing up against a wall of man, I thought by the time I got into a senior leadership role, I'd have a little bit more power to make some changes or to lead my department the way I wanted. And man,
Autonomy.
yeah, that it was a rude awakening for me, and really sad. I was
Yeah.
actually you spend 10 years somewhere, and of course, you're emotionally tied more than you'd like to admit to a business, and so that was the catalyst for going back to school. um, but then, leaving corporate and slowly building up a word of mouth marketing gig. I didn't expect it to get so big. And so I did have, a lot of forks in the road. I think every decision you make as an entrepreneur really is that. It's like a fork everywhere, every time. And that I've just been really lucky in the decisions I'm making, kind of slowly informing the next one across both channels, my education and what I'm doing. And it's made my brand better. Like it's made me better. It's made my brand better. And kind of scratched that itch that I had, in the corporate life of having that autonomy and being able to build things that pay it forward and
Yeah.
create environments for other people that are valuable and well paid. And it's been really cool. Scary, like we said, but really cool.
Yeah, and that's going to pay off. People, things have changed, and people want to see change in
Mhm.
commercial environments, and it's great that you get to do that in your own business. And on your business, I did also want to ask you about email marketing.
Mhm.
That's a bit of an interest of mine. You've got a
Yes.
bit of a strategy you've worked out. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that for business owners that perhaps interested in getting some email marketing? How do we do it?
Yes. So, I mean, there's two groups of people. There's people that are starting from scratch or really early on and looking for ways to start building. And in that case, I would say, branding 101 is, you figure out who your audience is and you figure out where they're hanging out, right? So, it's the same for your email marketing. You got to figure out where they are. Are they on YouTube? Are they listening to podcasts? Are they on different social channels, on LinkedIn, on Instagram? Facebook groups are a big one I'm finding with a lot of specific brands, and you participate in those areas and you find something that is of value that you can offer for free. That's a nice, preview to your brand and what you're offering. Maybe it's a discount if you have a product, for example, or a risk-free guarantee or a newsletter, something that's going to give them value that will entice them enough to give you their email. And you know consumers are pretty savvy these days. We're all exhausted from the spam and bots and these we're all tired. We're really tired. So it really does genuinely need to be of value so that when they do get it, you haven't just annoyed them that it isn't actually what you said it was, and then you're blowing up their email. Right.
Yeah.
um but that's the door. You have to have, it's called a lead gate, and you have to have something that will generate your leads. But the exchange there is it is something of value. I've seen a lot like on socials, recipe books people really like, or if you're more technical, templates for things like Photoshop templates, mock-ups for books, things that people would have to build or pay for elsewhere are very, very popular, and people are very willing to, shoot over their email in exchange for it.
Yeah.
The second group. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. Continue.
Oh, I was going to say the second group is maybe you already have an email list and you're not really doing anything with it, which is most of us. Email marketing feels a little archaic, but my big spiel to people is it's really not, and we're leaving money on the table. Like, especially as we're in a post ads economy, like it's getting so expensive to post ads.
Yeah.
And
hard.
I'm seeing it's so hard. Yes. Like, and it's really offensive actually. Like, we work so hard to hone that ad strategy, right? Find that audience and build the right ad. And now the algorithms have blown them all up without an explanation, and they just charge you more is really the true explanation. So I have stopped. I do not pay for ads. I don't pay for $1 in ads. And I use email marketing because you have this group of people, presumably a lot of them are prior clients. And what I do is I help clients kind of create a rubric to rank. Let's say you have 100 people on your list. You rank number 1 to 100 on the most profitable clients, the highest return on investment that you've seen, all the way down to number 100. We take the top 10% of that list, and we just talk to them and we say, hey, like, how is business going? How are things going? And they're very willing to, give you some free R&D. Basically, they're telling you very upfront, like, either, yeah, things are great, they don't really want to talk about it, or they spill the beans and tell you what they're struggling with. And we use that to go back to the drawing board and create strategies for our clients on, okay, they just gave us free intel. Here's what they're struggling with. What can we come up with to solve it? And we give that back to them, usually at a discount. We'll go back and shoot our shot and make our pitch to whatever this is. And then we also provide that to the rest of the list. Like, hey, we have this new service, or hey, we have this new program, or, we've heard from a lot of you that these are the problems. And we're seeing clients make a ridiculous amount of money from the data they already have and they own, and they aren't paying $1 in ads from, things like this, just from talking to their people and to the right people, talking to the right people that are already bought into what you got. So it's a really powerful tool. That's just, one way to take it.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people talk about, you got to segment your list, which is what you talked about, but they don't sort of say what's next. And you're talking about a strategy where you're asking them, what are you stuck on? What do you need help with? And then crafting an offer directly to the people who are the most highly engaged with you anyway, and for the best results. So that's very interesting. And if somebody wants to get some of this structure to their email, I mean, if you've got your website and you've got a form and you're capturing email, but you don't really know what you're doing, you don't have anything exciting happening, and you don't have a process like what Kat talked about, they can get in touch with you, Kat, and have a Zoom meeting or something?
Yeah. So there's a couple of resources. We're putting out today, actually, a webinar that outlines all of that genuinely for free. So you can go to emailrevamp.com, sign up for the wait list, but you won't be there very long. We're going to be emailing that out shortly. And it really does give you, steps 1 through 3. It's half hour. We really respect your time and lay it all out. And then from that same page, you can shoot me a message if you want to meet, and we can just talk, no pressure. One of my things is not being the information. Like, if you want to do it yourself or give it a try, like, who am I to say no? Like, go for it. And then if you need help, like, that's where we make our money. And that's, we're certainly happy to help you there. I will plug just really quickly, because this is important. We do not charge upfront. So if you are struggling with capital and you want to try something like this, we are doing pilot programs to invest our own time and money into doing this for you. And then at the end, we'll agree ahead of time, like any sales you get from it, then we split that. So we try to make it as accessible as possible to people looking to scale.
Interesting. Email revamp.com. Get on the waiting
Yeah,
list.
I just joined the wait list.
Great. Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm going to join it too. And
Please.
you got to have the waiting list there to get a bit of, what do they call it? Scarcity.
And anticipation.
That's right. Get excited, guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Email revamp. Well, I'm going to join that after the show. Thank you to our wonderful guests, Daniel Lucas and Kat Valverde. Let's have a round of applause for our guests. I felt like the dumbest person in the room this podcast. Some very smart guests today. Doesn't take much to make me feel that. Anyway, thank you very much, guests. I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for listening and watching.